Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to GTA 6 Hub. Today I'll be covering what fans want the most in GTA 6. Let's get into the video. Great soundtrack and custom playlists. One of the coolest aspects about Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was that they featured incredible soundtracks. The music was great and perfectly fit the era the games took place in. The soundtracks for the last two games haven't been bad, but they also didn't feel iconic or all that memorable. Regardless of what time period that Grand Theft Auto 6 is set in, we hope that it includes a dope soundtrack. We want diverse radio stations with catchy tunes. And the idea to finally just make your own playlist is a must. Take your favorite tracks from each station and put them all in one convenient place. RPG elements. Grand Theft Auto 4 was desperately missing a lot of the fun things you could do in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Some of that was rectified for Grand Theft Auto 5 with the return of haircuts and the random side missions that were a blast. That being said, there were still a few things we want back. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas allowed players to do different things that would make their character gain or lose weight. Bringing that back would be rad, as would including the ability to learn new fighting skills. Things like that would add a lot this time around. Improved weather system. This may seem like a small thing to ask for, but think about it. The weather has always been something the games take into account. If it rains, the ground will look like it feels sleeker. But with the most recent game being in such a sunny location, things like snow were never really brought into play. We want a weather system that adds new elements and impacts gameplay, like give us blizzards, hurricanes, serious winds, and maybe even an earthquake or two. Most importantly, make sure that these things affect how the game is played. It will allow for more variety. Property customization. The main things that you're able to customize in these games are your cars and your clothes. Grand Theft Auto 5 added weapons to that list. These aspects are given plenty of options to make your gameplay experience unique. As gamers, we love this, but we think customization needs to go further. For example, it would be great if we could customize the properties that we purchase. If you buy a bar like you can in the last game, you should be able to deck it out however you want. The same goes for the house that you buy. Improved hand-to-hand combat. This goes part and parcel with the RPG elements that we alluded to earlier. Learning new moves should impact your character, and that means there needs to be a better fighting system. Shooting and aiming have been long fine in this series, but that's not the case for hand-to-hand combat. Whenever you try to engage someone in a fist fight, it feels clunky and is never as fun as the rest of the game's many elements. Almost anything that Rockstar can do to this system would feel like an improvement. That's how much work it needs. A more focused story. It was a lot more enjoyable to play as the three protagonists in Grand Theft Auto 5 than it was to play as Niko Bellic in GTA 4. That being said, the plot behind Niko's tale was a more focused one. We want to return to something similar next time around. GTA 5 had a lot of plot featuring government conspiracies and some outlandish moments. As we said, it was fun, but something more coherent and straightforward would be a welcome change of pace. You can still keep the zany elements and a side mission. That main campaign can tell a streamlined story. Playable cop. Here's one thing that is way out in left field. Since the franchise began, we've played as a variety of criminals from all walks of life. To really throw a curveball and change things up for the next game, getting to take control of an officer of the law would be awesome. Maybe there could be a storyline where we get to make decisions as this cop that would take you down a path of doing what's right, of being corrupt. It could end up a whole new world of missions, plot twists, and more that weren't possible in past iterations. A female protagonist. This is along the lines of the cop protagonist, but something we want even more. The series hasn't been kind to women. They've mostly been portrayed as villains, prostitutes, and strippers. Having a female lead the story would make this a completely different game. We're not just talking about putting a woman into the kind of story we've already had. Have the fact that she's a woman be a major part. What got her into this life? How does her gender impact her criminal lifestyle? Does it make things easier or more difficult? These are the kinds of things we would allow for. Multiple cities. The world of Grand Theft Auto 5 was a vast one. The map was basically split into the commercial Los Santos and the sparse, more deserted Blaine County. As cool as that was, we're hoping to see things return to the way it was during Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which was split into multiple cities. Each of those cities in that game had its own unique vibe that made it feel like we were playing three different games. A vibrant city brimming with life, a rural side full of beautiful fields, an urban area, one with an up-and-coming economy, etc. There are plenty of options that can make this entry special. That's gonna do it for our video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and let me know what you want in GTA 6. So long.